Welcome. Let me get the comments on here. Live chat, all messages are visible. Okay, let us know if you can hear us and where you are watching from. And today we have a new topic.
The history of mining with burros.
Right? It's actually pretty interesting. So we're going to be reading more because this is research that I did today. And we have a list because I'm a list person, type A personality.
She's a list gal, that's for sure.
What do you think? Are you type A? You're a little type A.
Yeah, probably.
She likes lists now too. All right, so happy day 27 or 50-day go live challenge. And today we're going to dive into the real story of mining burros. And this all ties back into the burros that we're getting from the BLM. Oh, I was going to post. I'm going to add another post because I was just kind of searching and I pulled up some pictures of burros being used mining.
Oh, cool.
And I was going to do that like a little bit before the go live. We're doing wedding invitations, guys. So I got distracted. So the truth about the burros, their strength, their actual size of what they were using, and it's probably not what you think. And all the surprising things and the little legends that they did long before any of us were around. And because everything always ties back to our modern day donkeys, we're going to connect these burros to what we just brought home. The ones that we just brought home are from the Alamo HMA and Black Sandy, and then like Wild Donkey Ah that we're keeping as our mascot donkey.
Mm-hmm. And if you're new here, an HMA is the herd that they come from.
Herd management area.
So it's the name of the herd that they were taken from.
I appreciate that, Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I forget to give that context, right? So we're going to connect all this to the donkeys that we are working with, and we'll wrap it up with a little winter motivation. Woohoo! So the first section is about mining with burros and what it was really like. Now, burros were a lot smaller than everyone imagines. Everyone thinks that mining burros were like big and stout, like maybe like Honk the Donk, and she has her own playlist.
A mammoth donkey.
Yeah. They're giant. But they weren't. Now, maybe some people had mammoth donkeys, but they were often just 11 or 12 hands. Now,
how tall would that be? I'm 5'5". What, like?
11 hands would be 44 inches at the wither.
So about chest height, maybe? So they're back. Not very tall for,
Yeah. And all the donkeys that we just brought home, the 8, 7 of them are 12 hands, and 1 of them is 11 hands. But all of these guys are only 2 years old right now. So that's the same as the yearlings, as what we just brought home. They weren't the size of tractors, guys. More like fluffy motorbikes. With opinions, though. How much weight did they actually carry? Contrary to Hollywood, they weren't loaded up like furniture on moving day. They typically carried 80 to 120 pounds per animal. They always keep it balanced. So if you guys are new to packing, it's like the donkey is wearing a backpack on each side of its body, and they have to keep it balanced. If they don't keep it balanced, it would just slide underneath their belly. And miners protected their burros because they depended on them. So even though they would carry a lot and they would work hard, those miners
they were probably a very valuable resource then, and you don't want to mess up. You know, it'd be like not taking care of your pickup truck. You know, you just run your truck into the ground, now you're kind of SOL, but you take good care of your donkey, they're going to take good care of you.
Yes. Now, movies showed burros have... I cannot talk.
She can never talk anyways. So.
Movies showed burros hauling half of a hardware store. Real burros hauled beans, tools, blankets, not the entire mining camp kitchen.
Ooh, so we split up our research pages. So now I have a page. Here it says, burros picked their miners. They wandered into camp, stuck around for scraps, and basically said, congratulations, you're my human now. That'd be pretty fun, you know, you're just hanging out in camp, eating beans every night, probably farting all the time because all you're eating is beans, and here comes a donkey saying, hey, I'll carry your stuff for you if you give me some of those bean scraps.
You know, that's probably kind of true, too. My aunt and uncle, Alice and Wayne, were out traveling their snowbirds, and they were at a gas station in Arizona, and there was a donkey that came up to them in the gas station.
Yeah.
Wayne touched it.
You know, that's what we've wondered about some of the wilds that they'll take home is some of them, you know, they just act like you're there to kill them, and some of them act like maybe you have some French fries in your pocket. So it's kind of funny the different HMAs, the different herds that they come from, the different personalities that come from that with the different terrain and environment that they're in.
Yes.
Burro intelligence shocked miners. They navigated back to water, remembered routes better than humans, refused dangerous paths, avoided storms, escaped hobbies. What does it say? Hobbles? Like
Hobbles.
the Houdinis. Escaped hobbles like the Houdinis. That's pretty interesting stuff. I'm
Now-
not surprised that they could wander back to water because a lot of animals are pretty good at storing that in their brain and remembering routes better than humans. Animals are really quite clever.
They say that a donkey has the memory equivalent to an elephant.
And if you know anything about elephants, they're supposed to be very smart.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, a hobble, if you guys don't know what a hobble is, it's like little handcuffs. They put them on and they make them out of a lot of different things. Now, if you haven't used them before, you need to teach them how to be hobbled. Otherwise, you could have a wreck.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting here that it says avoided storms because animals really do have an extra sense where they can tell, you know, the atmospheric pressure is changing, the wind has switched a certain way, and they just know you have a snowstorm coming or a big windstorm coming or something. So it's pretty impressive that the miners noticed that too, because we'll even see it out in the pasture.
Yeah.
We lived in Minnesota for a little while, and you know, when you would have tornado warnings and stuff, they would all go to low ground. They knew, go to low ground, and it could be long before the clouds start looking weird. They know something's happening, and they're like, we're going to safety. So having an animal that can sense stuff like that with you would probably be pretty life-saving.
It would
If
be.
you're a miner, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they could ever sense if the mines were going to cave in, stuff like that, if they ever went down in them.
I'll bet you they could. And you know what else? Like Ty Evans and Mountain Built just said hi. I'm glad you guys are here with us. Hey, Mountain Built. Ty Evans tells a story about he was with his, I don't remember which mule, but he was with his mule and he was wanting his mule to go up onto this rock, to jump up onto a rock.
Doing rock crawling. So you just practice having them hop up on rocks just for fun.
And his mule wouldn't do it. And he's a professional clinician, guys. So he's like, I'm Ty, I have to do this. Well, he never did get it done. And later on, he says he was at like the other side of the rock. And you know what it was full of? A nest of rattlesnakes.
Ooh,
Right?
yeah. So they probably sensed something was there and said,
I'm
no,
not
thank
doing
you.
this.
Yeah, I want to live too. Ooh, a joke. This is exciting. Miners trusted the burros more than their compasses. If a burro refused to go down a trail, that usually meant the trail had recently fallen off the mountain. Is that a joke?
I guess.
Oh, I'm so glad you guys think this is funny too. I don't think that was really a joke. I don't know who wrote this script, but it's, yeah. So anyways, we'll move on. Section 2, the surprises. The surprise number 1, they were small but mighty. I think we've kind of learned that by now. They are very hardy critters. Your 12-hand mining burro wasn't fragile. They were diesel engines in fluffy packages. So I could see that, you know, they really are just a machine, especially when they're in good shape. They can just cover ground and carry weight. They might not do it super fast, but they can do it and they can do it safely, and they can get you and your gear and themselves wherever you're trying to go all in one piece, because they want to survive just as badly as you do. They don't want to get lame. You know
something, when I was researching this, some of the things that I was coming across said that they would carry the same amount of weight that they were sometimes. Now, this is my research, guys. I don't know how accurate it is. However,
do you not have a doctorate in donkey?
I'm working on that. Not yet. But it's hard to imagine a donkey, if it weighed 400 pounds, carrying 400
That sounds a
pounds of
little
weight.
far-fetched.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a crazy scenario where they were evacuating something somewhere.
That's a good point.
And they loaded him up, and then, you know, that was their claim to fame. Oh, my donkey carried, you know, his same weight. But I think that would kind of wear them out. It would injure them.
It would injure
over
them.
an amount of time. Overloading was rare. That's kind of what we were just talking about. Popular myth says miners abused them constantly. Some did, of course, just like today. You're always going to have bad people doing bad things, but there's also lots of good people doing good things. But most miners knew a broken burro equals a broken miner. And probably not just a broken miner, but a broke miner.
Right?
Yeah, if your donkey can't help you haul the coal or the diamonds or gold or silver, whatever, you can't.
Or water.
Yep. Let's see. Surprise number 3, they had full personalities. That's not a surprise to us or to you guys.
No.
We know they're full of personality, but I'm sure compared to, you know, an old trusty draft horse that just hauls a plow and does what it's told, I'm sure that the donkeys were probably goofing around a lot more back then, just like they do now. They stole coffee, untied themselves. Have any of you had a donkey untie themselves before?
Seamus.
My mule will untie himself if he gets a chance.
Seamus is really good at untying himself now.
Yeah, they'd walk right into tents. It's not even surprising. If a burro didn't feel like working,
sorry,
good luck. All right, another joke. We're going to see how good this one is after the last joke that our scriptwriter wrote. Stubborn? No, strategic. Burros were the original union workers. Oh, these jokes are too good. All right, now you got your.
All right, so I'm
page.
fired from writing jokes. But surprise number 4 is Burros kept the West running. A lot of people talk about how, you know, the horses and like horsepower. Pickup trucks still are based off from horsepower, but the Burros were out there doing lots of work. Mining camps, ranches, freight routes, Burros were everywhere. Thousands of today's wild Burros descended from these ancestors, many of them mining ancestors. Now, the Seven Troughs is where A is from, HMA, herd management area. And then we got Alamo and I think I said Black Sandy. I looked before I came so I could try to remember. But we've had HMAs from all over. I don't remember how many herd management areas there are total in the United States, but I think it's well into the hundreds. So let's talk about our new 8 babies. The HMA in Nevada, California, Arizona, they contain Burros descendants from all of these. Mining operations, early ranchers, railroad construction animals, Depression-era towns with abandoned burros. These herds are direct descendants of the working burros that built the West. So when you adopt a wild burro from a place like any of these, you're literally bringing home a piece of history.
That's pretty neat if you think about it.
Yeah.
Helping carry on, not quite a legacy, but just carry on what once was in a different way.
But they have hair and opinions.
Hair and opinions. Some men do too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who let them have opinions.
Yeah. Now, if Seamus could talk, he'd probably tell us which miner he ditched when he refused to go down the trail. Can you imagine if Seamus could talk? My great-grandpa said.
Yeah. Don't follow that man.
So our winter motivation, guys, is about the book Running with Sherman. What do you call a country populated entirely by donkeys? An assassination. I love it.
That's the best joke of the day right there.
Yes, I'm fired from jokes. That's okay, though.
We're going to hire you guys. We don't have a payroll, but you're hired.
If you guys could have been around the year that I got a joke book, I think it was like an audio book that I listened to in my vehicle, and then I would get home and tell everybody jokes. I got a lot of eye rolls. All right, so Running with Sherman. One of the things that we're talking about, guys, is keeping motivation. Now, remember we talked about the Stormy Cromer hats. You need one to match every jacket, so make sure you get lots. But now, let's talk about Running with Sherman. I have read this book, I think, 3 times.
I've read it once, and then Reed, my fiance, has also read it. But it's a pretty neat book. It's about a man. He meets a donkey that needs some help. It's not getting very well taken care of. Basically nurses him back to health, and then he ends up doing the Leadville race with it, which is I think it's like a full marathon and then an ultra marathon. So 26
Thanks for joining us,
whatever
Belt.
miles, and then I think it's like 50 miles. But they put traditional packs on the burro, so just like you're a miner, you just kind of do some dress up and you pretend like you're a miner who's about to go run 20 some miles with your donkey. But he just trained this donkey up because he liked to run, very athletic, and then he would just take his donkey with them on runs, and they would just run all the time, and they both loved it. And I'll let you
It
talk
talks
about
also about his journey. You know, he started off not knowing anything about donkeys, and if you guys have done anything with donkeys, you know that they can be tricky to get them to do, and then to run, and then to cross colors on like a puddle on the road, or
just all sorts of things that you wouldn't see in the wild that you see on a roadway, like the road markers that she's talking about. Aw said, I'm not good. That's some white paint. We don't have white paint on our roads in the wild.
Right? That's a donkey stopper there. So it talks about his whole journey, about how he does it, and it's like community. It's actually the author that reads it if you listen to it on Audible. It's a great book, and there's a link in the description for that book, guys. That's like a great Christmas gift idea, too.
It is. Everyone loves books, and this is a book. It's an audio book. It's family friendly.
Totally.
I don't think there was anything inappropriate in it if you wanted a kid to listen to it. It's a pretty wholesome book, but it catches your attention, and it's an enjoyable read. I would definitely recommend it.
I listened to it with Paul, and with Ty Evans, you're always focused on the process. That comes up a lot, like trust the process. And that came up in the book also, so we kept pointing out every time it said process in the book. So if you're feeling lazy in the winter, just remember, Burros literally ran 50 miles and passed humans. You could do 10 minutes of groundwork, right? Just get out there and do a little bit of time.
Yep.
And last is you.
Oh, section 5, wrap up, question and answer. So today we covered the truth about mining burros, the real size, the real strength, and the surprises most people don't know. How our Seven Troughs babies tie into that history, and a little winter motivation with one of the greatest donkey books ever written. Drop your questions in the chat.
Yes.
Mining, wild burros, training, anything donkey related, and we'll hang out for a little Q&A. Looks like we have one person on right now.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions, any comments? And when we are done here, I will post those extra mining pictures that I pulled because they're just totally fun.
Well, thanks for viewing, and we hope everyone has a great day. A great night.
And we're going to be back tomorrow.
Look forward to seeing you guys again. What's tomorrow's topic?
I haven't decided yet.
No. Well, if you have a suggestion for tomorrow's topic, we'll take them.
Heck yeah. All right. You guys have a great evening.